back.
Yes, sir. We back. Welcome back. Loaded Slate Sports Podcast. National championship just happened. We got NFL playoffs on the horizon.
Loaded slate.
Absolutely loaded.
Loaded slate. Loaded slate, guys. We got to get to this because, we had a true sandblasting happen on Monday night, guys. A true Sarah McLachlan special, if you will. Georgia Bulldogs, they defend their natty, guys, 65-7. You heard that right. 65 points scored. This is the biggest margin of victory in bowl history, guys. Not just in national championship history, in bowl game history.
They got slacked. That's what.
They really didn't even show up. TCU didn't. It doesn't look like.
They didn't get off the bus.
No, they didn't.
No doubt.
No, they didn't. Stetson Bennett, he solidified himself as one of the best quarterbacks in Georgia program history, I think, with this. Another incredible performance. I saw he had the best QBR rating in college football playoff history, which is crazy to think about considering all the elite quarterbacks that have played in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that he was a walk-on to start his career and now he's, won 2 natties. That's just super impressive for him. Everyone was doubting him, after he won that starting job over JT Daniels. And he's just continued to silence the doubters, and this was huge for him in the Georgia program.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's got a story similar to Baker Mayfield. He's walking on, making his mark on this team. Actually went to Georgia, transferred out to a JUCO, played there, and then transferred back, and went from third string to starter.
Mm-hmm.
And like you mentioned, he's been there forever. Won 2 straight national titles. The dude, he's a legend. He's not just a legend in Athens, Georgia. He's a legend in all of college football. His name will be remembered along with the greats. The Tim Tebows,
yeah,
guys
exactly.
like that. His name's going to be remembered with the greats. For what he did at the college level. With that being said, his NFL future is in question. Obviously, we don't know
with
if
his
he's
size and everything.
Yeah.
Being on the shorter side,
He probably won't just play just because he's too old.
right.
Teams will take that chance that with only 5 years left of pretty good football left. 'Cause he's already 25.
Yeah.
So
He's 25 years old. Obviously, he's a lot older than much of the competition, and I don't know if really many NFL scouts will see that and think, "Oh, that's my franchise quarterback," especially considering, like you mentioned, his size limitations. But I think that this guy could carve out a good career as a backup quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
In the NFL, for sure. So the disrespect going his name about, "Oh, dude needs to go get a real job now," he's gonna make his mark in the league.
He's amongst the most elite quarterbacks, in college football history when it comes to winning 2 national championships. The Matt Leinarts, the Tim Tebows, AJ McCarron, those guys, the guys that have won 2 natties. That's like a very elite list right there of quarterbacks that have won 2 natties.
It's like the college football quarterback pinnacle.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly.
It is. And hats off to him, like I said. And Georgia, they just absolutely skull-drugged TCU. They were a great story coming into this game, but they were just outmatched physically, and it really showed from the opening kickoff. They had no shot in this game whatsoever.
I think it's the thing that's so impressive to me and many others is just the way that Georgia's done it over these past couple of years. It's been so different from the rest. Obviously, you mentioned Florida and those other teams that won back-to-back national championships in the past, Reggie Bush and USC. This team has just done it so much differently because it's been dominance.
Yeah.
It's been absolute dominance.
Yeah.
And, they're doing it better than anybody else in the country. Obviously, we see 65-7 against TCU. That's just, it's just a telltale sign of what they've been building up down there in Athens. Kirby Smart and his crew.
Guys, listen. I think a lot of people overlooked, I think because we saw Georgia struggle with these 2 teams right here, Kent State and Missouri. People kind of, maybe thought that, there wasn't this huge gap in the sport this year. But I think Georgia, they really were just, head over heels better than the rest of the field, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah, but the thing is they almost lost to freaking Ohio State.
They did.
They only beat them because the kicker just couldn't make a kick.
They did. Imagine if Jackson Smith and Jigba and Travion would have played. That could have been a completely different game.
That's an entirely different conversation as a whole. You're mentioning Georgia struggling in regular season games like that. Obviously teams are going to play down, to the competition.
Yeah, probably got bored. You're playing Kent State.
It just seems absurd to say that, right? Because, it's college football. You're going to want to, put your team in the best position to win any given Saturday, obviously. But you got to imagine this Georgia team, they're getting everything these teams got.
They're throwing every team's best shot.
Exactly. They're throwing the playbook at Georgia. And, you said Kent State and Missouri. Those are 2 teams
Yeah, not
they
very.
have nothing to lose.
No,
Absolutely nothing to lose. So, I mean, I don't know. At the time, looking at that, we kind of, there's some chat.
Yeah, there was chatter. We don't like people. The conversation nationally was, Georgia. They've lost all those guys on defense. They cannot possibly be as good as they were the year before, and they've just completely silenced all the doubters.
Oh, yeah.
They just went back to back. I mean, that's one of the hardest things to do. I mean, impressive, super impressive by them. 15-0.
Extremely impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw David Pollack say to Nick Saban's face that Georgia is now, the big boy of college football.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of an understatement at this point.
Yeah, I wanted to get your guys' opinions on this. So, do you guys think that Georgia as a program has surpassed Alabama? Has Kirby Smart, become the new benchmark in the college football world? Like, are they the benchmark program now?
They might be. I mean,
too early to tell. Still,
it could be too early to tell because Nick Saban's always going to bring in those recruits.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going to still want to go play for Nick Saban, but the NIL deals and stuff, it makes a big difference nowadays because that means it gives people more of a shot to go play at other schools that they can freaking develop at because, I mean, Georgia's a good school, but so is like Ohio State, so is Michigan. I mean, all these schools have different places where they're going to be good at a different position, so... I mean, it's hard to tell because with the NIL, the talent spreads out a lot more. Even with freaking Deion Sanders going to Colorado now, that puts another team into the question because everyone's going to want to go play for Deion.
I mean, you got kids going to Texas A&M that would really not even be looking in that direction because of NIL. I mean, I feel like it does level the playing field a little bit more. It's just pretty much, these players are going to go to the schools with the highest bidder. So
sometimes,
group of 5 schools are kind of left out of that. But yeah, to answer your question, I do agree with that statement. I think that Kirby Smart, it's just, like I said, it's just the way that they've done it. They've done it with such dominance. I mean, Bama's had some good teams, give them everything they have in the national championship game and in the playoff. Georgia, I mean, other than Ohio State this season in the Peach Bowl, it's about the only close game they've played in the playoffs the past 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been sheer dominance.
Yeah.
So, it's so tough to say because Nick Saban is such a legend and it did it for so long and is continuing to do it. We shouldn't be acting like Nick Saban isn't around.
Yeah, for sure. Nick Saban has the full body of work, I think. But Kirby Smart, he's got a long way to go in his coaching career still. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I think he has the possibility to maybe surpass Nick Saban someday. But as of right now, I think Nick Saban still is the best coach in college football. But I mean, programs right now, I think Georgia probably is number 1.
Well, I don't know exactly how old Kirby Smart is or the exact number of years that he's been a head coach at Georgia.
Yeah, he was, I think, hired same year as Jim Harbaugh, I believe. Maybe the year after.
Look this up real quick. I want to see the exact year so I'm not incorrect if I'm on a statement.
Yeah, so Kirby Smart, he's 47 years old. He hired in 2015, same year as Jim Harbaugh.
Okay.
So he's been the coach since 2015. He has an insane record, 81-15 as a head coach at the University of Georgia.
I mean, this was a program. I mean, we act like this is kind of a new up and coming program. This is a program that's been to college football playoffs within the time that Nick Saban has been dominant. Obviously, we've seen them play Nick Saban in the national championship.
Yeah, they beat Nick Saban head to head. I mean,
exactly.
But Saban beat them head to head once too. So
yes.
I mean,
yes.
So you gotta look out though, because he might go to the NFL. Some teams will start looking at his crazy record and being like giving him bags and shit just to go. Because I mean, even with Jim Harbaugh, he hasn't been the best coach in college football, but they're still giving him freaking looks. So
yeah,
he'll definitely start getting looks for the NFL here soon.
No doubt. I don't know. I don't know if this is kind of a brash statement, but I feel like Kirby Smart has accomplished more at this stage of his career than Nick Saban did.
Yeah, I don't have the 2 records in front of us to really compare the 2. But I'd say as of right now, yeah, I mean Kirby Smart. I think he went to the college football playoff in like his 3rd season or something like that. 2nd season.
Exactly.
I mean that's incredible.
They went to the national championship game.
Yeah, they went to
beat Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl.
It took Alabama to overtime.
It took a Tua bomb to Devontae Smith to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest national championship games and playoffs of all time, other than Washington Huskies were in that one, I believe, right?
I think so. Yeah, but anyway, so about the playoff, actually, like, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, do you guys think the committee got the seeding right here? Because I mean, like TCU, they're playing in the Natty here. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think TCU should have been 4? Do you think Michigan and Ohio State should have played each other in the first round? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
It's really tough to say. At the time, it seemed like the right move. Obviously, Ohio State didn't play in a conference championship game, so they kind of didn't have that extra game to strengthen their schedule as TCU did. Even though they lost their conference championship game, they went undefeated in the regular season, so it didn't really matter. It's tough to say. It's real tough to say. I don't know how this would have gone, say, if Michigan would have beat TCU and would have played Georgia in the national championship game. I don't know if it would have been
we'll never know.
as astronomical of a blowout.
I think it would have been a blowout. But I don't think it would have been a 59-point shellacking.
Exactly. So that's a tough question. I'm gonna say yes, just considering I think it was based off the criteria, and the criteria was correct.
I agree.
For the selection.
I agree. I think the committee got it right, as they typically do. Obviously, the committee did not plan on TCU beating Michigan, so they really have no control over what happens in the national championship. But I believe as well that the committee got the pairings correct.
Yeah,
for sure.
Even though obviously I'd like to see Ohio State Michigan rematch, probably would have made it on television, but. I mean,
views would have been crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But regardless, I think that they did everything they needed to do to fit the criteria and kind of the what do you want to call it? The outline of what the playoffs supposed to be. So the committee did it right.
Yeah, they did. They did.
But it's just so unfortunate that the talent gap and just the the program gap in college football is so wide.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember too. TCU, they're a first-year coaching staff, so they're going to go through their lumps. They're going to be back. I mean, I don't know if they'll be back, but I mean, they'll be back contending for the Big 12 title. So I mean, they'll be just fine. But I mean, they're
kind of a Cinderella.
Yeah, they were.
And the glass slipper just didn't fit. I mean, we see this all the time in March Madness.
Yeah, and I mean,
it usually comes to a screeching halt, exactly like this did.
Yeah, and I mean, people have been trying to fit the square peg into the round hole, so to speak, trying to make college football, make this March Madness sort of thing with college football. And I mean, I think this is a great example. 65-7 is a great example of why playoff expansion won't work. Because, I mean, we're just going to get blowouts like this in the early rounds. And, I mean, who wants to watch a 59-7 Georgia, Michigan State first-round playoff game?
Yeah.
I mean, no one wants to watch that.
It's not even just the the entertainment factor of those first-round blowouts. It's the fact that these are young men playing games, that could be otherwise meaningless if you are getting blown out. Like, just risking injury and risking,
Yeah, I mean, Kirby Smart was blitzing Max Duggan. I mean, he was taking some hits when he was down 60 points. I mean, what's there to gain by that?
Exactly.
It's truly what Michigan should have done.
Yes.
I think Michigan's defense was just played super horrible in that semifinal.
No, they did. They definitely did.
It's the only reason why they lost is because their defense just couldn't figure it out. But Kirby Smart apparently watched that. Figured it out.
Yeah, no doubt. It's crazy that TCU somehow managed to score 37 offensive points on Michigan's defense. I don't know how it happened exactly. I can't even really tell you right now, but it happened.
Yes, it did.
And it's still unbelievable.
It's interesting. I mean, we made a point on the last pod about Michigan's defense just crumbling when it matters most. Yeah, every single season under Jim Harbaugh, it's just crumbled.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole different conversation. I think Georgia deserves their respect, and TCU deserves their respect for getting here.
They do.
Yeah, no doubt.
They do. It was a great season as well. Yeah. Obviously, Georgia, they were the best team from start to finish. 15-0, they complete the back-to-back. I mean, not many teams can say they've done that.
Yeah, it really just solidifies them in college football, legend. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. And, go Dogs, honestly. Gotta give them their respect.
For sure.
Yeah, it's tough, knowing that, it's going to probably be much of the same next year no matter what happens. We're going to see Georgia and, possibly Bama. So it really, they could potentially prove once and for all, head-to-head, who's further at the moment, which would be interesting to see. But,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. A lot of new quarterbacks there's going to be a lot of quarterback battles, I should say, in Tuscaloosa and in Athens as well. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot can change from now until the start of spring ball. So, I mean,
gives Michigan the upper hand next year with a quarterback returning.
It does. Yeah. I mean, Michigan.
All the SEC schools are replacing theirs.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, it seems like Michigan and USC, as of right now, are the only two schools that are returning elite quarterbacks. Yeah. It seems like. I mean, Caleb Williams, obviously, Bo Nix too is coming back.
I would say Cade Klubnik at Clemson. Yeah, I wouldn't really necessarily say he. I mean, he's got
potential.
Yes,
but I mean,
potential.
We haven't really seen it be fully brought together yet. So
body of work on the college level isn't necessarily there, but he's only started 3 games.
Exactly.
So
played 2 games, full games.
Right.
So I mean, a lot of room to grow for him. He's a young guy still. So
yeah.
I mean, there's going to be we'll have a lot to talk about this offseason. But I mean, I think we pretty much hit the natty pretty well. We want to switch gears over here to the league because I mean we had the final week of the regular season in the NFL. We wanted to touch on this real quick, guys. I think we got to talk about the primetime game from this last weekend, guys. I mean the Lions, they walk into Lambeau, guys, and they get this thing done. End the season on a dub, finish with above 500 record. I mean, obviously they don't make the playoffs, but I mean that's a pretty decent season considering starting 1-6. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts?
I'm extremely impressed. I'm bummed that Baker Mayfield and the Rams couldn't get it done against Seattle.
Truly, you just gotta blame the Lions though, because they shouldn't have never lost to Carolina.
No, it's true.
Never lost to Carolina.
They screwed themselves.
Yeah, they screwed themselves.
And I mean, they shouldn't
Lions.
They shouldn't have lost to the Vikings earlier in the season too. I mean, where they were leading the whole game. I mean, there's so many different games you can point at and say, this would have gone differently. Maybe the outcome could be different now, but obviously, 9-8, no playoff. I mean, it's something to build upon. But what are your guys' thoughts if the Lions would have gone to the playoffs and just would have gotten smoked? Would your outcome on the season have changed at all?
I think it's actually better for them because
it
gives them more time to rebuild, to find the positions where they're going to need to fix, and it gives them ready for the draft. Because we all know they're just going to practice just to lose. Because there's no way they're going to beat San Francisco.
No, and on the road too. I mean, they've been playing great ball this last couple of weeks.
So you're saying that making the playoffs was a kind of a positive thing?
Yeah, it's probably a positive thing on them because if they made it to the playoffs, it would have just demoralized the team.
Exactly.
They probably would have just got smoked.
And the fan base too, because it'd be like, we're here. That's what the real deal looks like over there. That's a Super Bowl contending roster over there. I mean, we still got a ways to go, but I mean, this kind of gives you the opportunity to go into Port here, fix some things up, shake some things up.
I think they could be favorites for the NFC North.
I feel
next year.
I gotta say, I think I disagree with that. I feel like this team would have benefited, more from a playoff appearance and actually being there. These are guys. This is an entire roster that just hasn't been there, other than Jared Goff, who's a guy that led his team to the Super Bowl, mind you, behind the back of Todd Gurley. But for this entire team, that is just such an incredible learning experience, and actually being there and seeing what it takes to get there and compete in a playoff game. I think that's invaluable. I mean, what's 1 week going to do to your scouting for the draft?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with that as well. But I mean, obviously, playoff games are a completely different animal from a week 10 game.
I'm not trying to say that they wouldn't get blown out, because this San Francisco team is clearly a Super Bowl contender, not a pretender, a contender. So, and the Lions would never. This version of the Lions was not gonna be competing for a Super Bowl if they made the playoffs, obviously. But I mean, to me, it's just the experience. I feel like it would have been nice, but at the same time, I do agree that now you can focus on the off season. You got to win the off season Super Bowl before you can win. The
real
actual
They had a great draft last year.
Yes, they did.
They got a lot of good picks.
They got plenty of good picks this year, so they just got to figure those out.
Vikings picks. I mean,
they got Vikings. They got the Rams picks. They got their own picks. I mean, they got freaking shit tons of picks, so they got to figure out who they need, which is obviously secondary.
And defense.
Linebacker.
Defense and maybe.
But I read somewhere earlier on in the season that the Lions own 6 of the first 65 picks in this draft.
Yeah.
Which is
huge.
That's massive. If we're talking team building, that is incredible. And Brad Holmes.
They need a lot of defensive help.
And Brad Holmes, in his short, what's the word? Productive yet short tenure in Detroit, has proven that he is a world-class team builder.
He is.
So.
And I actually really like the staff. The staff is really good because their defensive coordinator showed up on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I think he's the right man for the deal. They just gotta get the picks right. They gotta get someone to help Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, they gotta get a defensive line on the edge.
Yeah,
and then they gotta figure out their secondary problems. I mean, Kirby Joseph is a star in the making right there, but they need corners.
Linebackers is probably
and the linebackers.
I think a big key for the Lions is finding a way to re-sign Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator, because he was incredible all season.
I was about to mention the Colts. They asked permission to interview Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
Sit.
If you're the Ford family, you
Yeah.
absolutely cannot let that happen.
No.
These guys are giving you, it's coherent. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's. How long has it been since we've seen a watchable Detroit Lions offense? You know what I
It's been
mean?
a long.
Since
I
don't
even know if my lifetime I've seen a
Probably
watch.
like
I mean-
maybe a Jim Caldwell
Yeah,
offense
maybe,
in like
like-
2015, 2016.
I mean, that wasn't like
it wasn't even
wasn't like
stellar either.
earth shattering. I mean, they had Calvin Johnson.
They had Golden Tate for a while too. That duo was nice.
I
but
mean, Golden Tate and Calvin Johnson was nice, and Matthew Stafford was just such a dog that he kind of willed this team to wherever they went.
Irrelevancy, pretty much.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just all across the board. There's
they also
contributors
gotta
on this offense.
re-sign Jamal Williams next
Yeah,
year.
no doubt.
They got to figure out a way to find all this cap space.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I want to go to the other side of the aisle real quick. What are your guys' thoughts on Aaron Rodgers here? Do you think he comes back for another season? Do you think he just calls it a day?
I think he'll
calls
come
it a
back,
career?
but he won't be playing for the Packers.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he'll go somewhere else.
You think he's going to request a trade, or what's the deal? Is he a free agent?
He's not a free agent. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
have no
we
clue,
saw
though.
how testy
But-
his relationship with Green Bay was last offseason.
But they look like they want to replace him because they showed Jordan Love in a couple of games.
Yeah, I
And
forget
he-
they have
and
Jordan
he,
Love.
and he was playing well, so I think they look to move on from him, and he'll go to find. Truly,
Las
he
Vegas.
could not just Las Vegas. He could go to the freaking Vikings
He could.
Favre did, because if they do what I think they're going to do this week, which is lose to their first round matchup because they have a hard first round matchup with the
Really
Giants.
get the bracket. Yeah.
They
Kirk
could.
Cousins gonna leave.
Not Cousins. Cousins gonna get cut. They're gonna be like, we gotta move on because you're obviously not the guy. Because they have not looked good in their past few games.
No.
That's for sure.
They've been a pretender. I mean, obviously, we had a Vikings breakdown a couple weeks earlier in the season where we looked closely at the Vikings, and during that time that we were reviewing them, they looked strong.
Yeah, because
Like,
they
some big
had they
victories.
had just won in Buffalo. I mean,
Mhm.
that was a crazy game, by
Yeah.
the way, too. And I mean, these last couple of weeks, they've just been kind of scraping by.
Yeah,
Really,
exactly.
they've just been finding ways to win super close games. And I mean, they got a really
They got
tough.
slacked by the Packers.
The Packers.
did, they did.
Jair Alexander had a hell of a game on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna give my prediction for a landing spot for A-Rod. Obviously, this is kind of the I don't want to say obvious pick, but I feel like he's gonna take a long look at the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, they got his boy Tay.
I don't think he's gonna go there.
You don't think so?
I think that's where Terrific Tom's going.
That's another thing I've heard.
Because
That's another
his old offensive coordinator's there, and he's not looking good in the freaking good old Tampa Bay offense. So I don't know. He might be heading out there.
I mean, there's potential there for sure.
I don't know. I mean,
I agree. I mean,
he also could go down deeper into Miami
He
and
could
play
go-
in Miami.
yeah, I saw Tom to
13 years
Miami
before.
rumors, and I've seen Rodgers to Miami rumors. It remains to be seen. All I can
plenty of
say.
quarterback. He could even go to the Jets. I've heard.
We could. Which, Garrett Wilson, you just got to get Garrett Wilson the ball, honestly. That offense will be fine.
they have some great weapons.
Yeah,
out
oh
there.
yeah. They got good weapons.
And plus,
The
what's his
defense.
name is coming back next year? Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, yeah.
So he'll be out
It's,
with a torn ACL, so they'll have freaking good run game next year too.
Talk
with
about
that stellar defense.
Talk about a team that imploded. The New York Jets were 7-4, and then finished the year 7-9 or some shit like that.
Mhm.
7
Yeah,
and
7
10.
and 10.
7-10.
That's what happens when
Lost
you lose
6 straight
your
games.
starter.
Yeah.
It
That's what
kills
happens
the
when
team.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson
your
is just not it.
He really
that's
had
for
everybody
sure.
fooled.
Yeah, you guys want to touch on what the playoffs are looking like right now, guys?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by my pick, man. I'm just gonna start this off by saying I think the Cincinnati Bengals are playing their best ball right now. Joe Burrow, he's been there. He's got the championship pedigree. He can, mind you, they didn't win, but obviously he's got the pedigree of a seasoned quarterback at such a young age. I like the Bengals coming out of the AFC. I'm yelling it from the mountaintop. The Bengals are crazy.
Yeah,
Bengals 49ers is my pick.
you think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs might make it there too. But
Yeah, you got to respect the Chiefs.
because Patrick Mahomes has been playing lights out the
Oh,
last
yeah.
few weeks. So
Hey, I think the Chargers
be
have
there.
have
I
a
mean,
possibility
they
here. They
do
have a
too.
very
They have-
I mean,
They're getting healthy at the right time.
yeah, they are, and I mean
Mhm.
they got a decent draw here. I wouldn't say
Jags.
it's not a great draw, but it's a favorable draw. I would think
It's
here.
the best draw out of any of the. It's better draw than the
Bills.
Ravens and the
Yeah.
Bills. Yeah.
I mean, what's going on with Lamar, guys? Does anyone know?
He's out.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out of there.
They're done.
They just won't.
I
pay
saw
him.
they just re-signed Roquan Smith to a giant contract.
Oh yeah,
too.
they won't have.
You think
They won't
they
have
have any
enough.
cap space?
They won't have enough next year to
So-
sign Lamar, and plus all their picks.
Where do you guys think he's gonna go? You think he's like?
No,
I've heard plenty
no.
of rumors, but
I have too. I've
the
heard
Jets, I've heard is a rumor. I've also heard the Lions could be a rumor.
I heard Panthers smoke too.
The Panthers, yes,
I've
I've heard
I've
that.
heard they've been looking for a star quarterback.
But there's going to be a lot of carousel this year because
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a lot of QBs are going to be on the move.
Yeah, there is. I mean, we talked
Because
about
there's been
Derek
so
Carr,
many
too.
big.
Derek Carr, A-Rod, Tom, Lamar.
Yeah,
It's,
for
the
sure.
list kind of goes on and on.
Yeah, speaking of Tom, I
Jimmy
want
Garoppolo.
to talk about their opening round matchup. I mean, they open up against the Cowboys, guys. You think is that favorable for the Bucks or what?
No.
No?
Yeah,
Bucks are
it
losing
is.
this game.
Tom
You
Brady's
think?
never lost to the friggin' Cowboys.
This Cowboys team's different.
7-0.
Didn't they just lose in
They
humiliating
beat them at
fashion
the
to
first
the Commanders?
Yeah.
round, our first game of the season. They
got-
smoked them.
They got humiliated by the Panthers this last weekend.
I don't
too.
know. I
Rested for this
feel.
game.
But I don't know. I feel like this Cowboys team has. I mean, they've shown the ability to be different.
Yeah.
But
So
we're
I don't
gonna
know,
see we're gonna see the Dak Prescott that we always see.
But I feel like
He's
we're
gonna choke it away.
and I feel like we're gonna see the Tom Brady that we all know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when the
He's-
playoffs come around, I feel like Tom just turns it up another notch.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like we're gonna see that from him. But I don't know.
It's tough to say, honestly.
It is, I'm gonna have my eyes on this game though,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, this is gonna be a great game.
That's going to be a damn
Yeah,
good
Cowboys at the Buccaneers.
game. I just have a feeling about the Cowboys, man. You're going back on it.
I know a couple weeks ago I was calling for the Cowboys. I was talking, maybe favorable draw. If they can get that, they could potentially maybe make a run here late in the season. But
The
I
only
don't know.
reason why they beat the Eagles was because they didn't have Jalen. Hurts.
Jalen. Hey, I mean, a win's a win.
I think they're just frauds. Truly,
Cowboys?
they're
No.
Dude, they always get to the playoffs.
I know
and
they
will
always do.
choke.
They always do. But
They always choke, and I don't think Dak Prescott's that guy.
We're going to see.
I don't.
He's
He
just
didn't.
not
We're
it
going to
anymore.
see.
I know he did not look good against the Commanders, bro. He
No.
looked terrible. He looked terrible.
Didn't they, destroy the Commanders
Yes.
early in the year, too?
No, they lost this
No,
last.
earlier in the season. They,
Probably.
destroyed the Commanders.
I mean, they lost to Sam Howell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They got shellacked. Yeah,
Was that his first
yeah.
start?
They would.
too?
I mean,
I mean,
it
they
was
beat
his first
first
start. I
start.
think.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Go back to the bracket real quick. I want to speak on. I'll go down to the AFC. Bills Dolphins. I feel like that's gonna be a good game.
It will be
I'm gonna
if
have my eyes on
Tua, if
that
Tua
one.
can
Tua
get healthy.
plays.
Because I mean, those receivers that the Dolphins have. I mean, you can't
But
cover them.
I don't think Tua's gonna play, so
Yeah.
I think it will be a pretty big blowout if he doesn't play.
Yeah, if Tua doesn't play, it's obviously gonna be a little bit different. But I hope Tua plays because that shit's gonna be a very entertaining
It will,
game.
because the first game was very interesting. So
And we got to speak on the Buffalo Bills. Do we feel like they have kind of this team of destiny vibe after what happened to Damar Hamlin just a short week ago? This team? I mean,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people are speculating this team's got some team of destiny vibes. I just want to hear your guys' opinions on that with the Miami Dolphins draw in the first round.
I don't know. I think it's a scary matchup for them in the first round. To be honest, if they can get if the Dolphins can have some stability at quarterback, that is, because with those receivers, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if you can cover them. I don't know if the Bills got anyone that can cover both of those guys.
Trey White can cover one.
Cover one.
Yeah, exactly.
but then the other one's running wide open.
He's running
so-
down the sideline, 50, 75 yards.
I mean,
and I don't even think Trey White can run step for step with either of them.
ooh, yeah, you're probably right. These guys are two of the fastest receivers in the NFL. So, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this game, the result of this game, does heavily rely on Tua Tagovailoa's, his status coming into this. Because if somebody's gonna be able to deal the ball to Waddle and Tyreek Hill, this could be a tough challenge for the Bills.
Yeah, for
defense.
sure. I mean, the Dolphins aren't winning this game with Skylar Thompson at quarterback.
Oh, hell no.
That's not
Oh, hell
happening. No.
So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But
What happened to Teddy Bridgewater? Did
I'm
he
not
get
sure, but
hurt?
he's injured too, isn't
Yeah, I think he is.
he? Yeah. It's
So it is Skyler.
One-
If Tua doesn't play.
one team.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what the
Skyler.
deal. I think probably
Yeah, once
Skyler.
you're down to your third string,
You're
and
probably
else is probably not.
just
that.
about
You're
screwed.
fucked at
You're
that
just
point.
about screwed.
Might as well put the Jets in.
Jesus.
What the hell?
It just changed. I pressed the
You
button.
got on like a timer or something?
I don't know. But hey.
Y'all all know what you're watching, bro. You watching the Lotus Slate Sports Podcast.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah, drop a follow on our
Drop a
socials there. You know, we're working hard getting the sports news to you boys. We appreciate
Yeah,
everything.
for sure. You guys got any other games we want to touch on here? Any games from this last weekend? Anything?
I mean, not really. We kind of talked about, we talked about Sunday Night Football.
Hey, did we talk about the Seahawks at all? 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean, the Rams.
We mentioned. I think I said something about how the Rams kind of screwed the pooch on that game a little
They
bit.
did. I mean, Baker
If
Mayfield.
they started Matthew Stafford, they would have won.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I understand not starting Matthew Stafford at that point
I
when
do
you're
too.
already eliminated and you're
Yeah.
kind of dog shit team. But
Baker Mayfield just threw the game away with that pick.
Baker Mayfield didn't throw the game away at all. It was the goddamn stripes that ruined this game for the Rams.
Stripes.
The running into the kicker call when he was pushed
I mean, yeah,
into the punter.
that was a hard call, but
that in turn won the Seahawks the game.
I also think that roughing or the unnecessary roughness on Geno Smith
Yeah,
that
was
was a horseshit call.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was still running upfield down the sideline.
He's
It didn't
defenseless.
even look like he was out of bounds by then. So
Well, he didn't give up his what is it? He didn't give up his position or something. Like he was.
He's not a defenseless
Yeah,
player.
he wasn't defenseless. So
yeah,
I agree. I think that was a
but
bullshit call.
he did shank the kick, so it didn't really end up mattering. The only reason why they lost is because Baker Mayfield couldn't throw that deep ball.
Baker
Yeah,
midfield.
Dude, if he threw that.
Oh, that interception?
just about 5 yards
You're talking
further. Yeah.
Quandre Diggs,
Dude,
oh my
if
God.
he threw that ball about 5 yards further,
Yeah,
the Lions would
Yeah.
be in the playoffs.
it was the. I mean, yeah. I can't remember who he was throwing the ball to. Was
I
it
think
Van
it was-
Jefferson?
It was either Van or Powell.
I think it was Van Jefferson. I'm not
But he
entirely
was
sure.
wide open.
But he had to turn. That's the
He
telltale
threw it-
sign.
He underthrew it by like a good 5 yards.
And then
Quandre Diggs just undercut it.
and then former Lion,
yeah.
just comes out and swipes the ball and ruins the Lions' playoff chances. Man, and obviously the Lions did them a favor, so
Yeah.
kind of, it is what it is. But
It just kind of went the opposite way for Lions fans than we wanted. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is a good thing. The Lions get that better draft pick because the Rams lost that game.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's a win-win situation. Who knows?
keeps them humble, and I still
What pick
enjoy
is that then? Is it the third or
sixth
fourth?
pick.
Sixth?
or fifth,
I mean, I think they should try and trade that away and
They-
get some more.
6 and
picks.
18.
Yeah. They got to trade back a little
Trade
bit.
down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depends on who's
Because,
available.
I mean, I think if
Like if the
the first round goes
No,
the way
so-
I should, I think there will be a lot of teams that will probably be coming up to try and get a quarterback if one of them slips. So if that happens, they need to easily trade that one back and try and get more picks where they can get depth in secondary.
I don't know, man.
Their offense is set, truly.
yeah,
I don't even
I
think
mean, maybe get a tight end in the later rounds.
maybe.
Yeah.
but
Hey, what do you guys think? So this is just total spitball, right? Obviously, the Texans lost their first overall pick to the Bears. This team already got a quarterback, guys.
Yeah, the Bears could be a team that we
Trade.
could potentially look at as trading back,
Yes.
maybe.
Six,
Who knows?
6-18 in like a second or something else for number one and get Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's fair. Yeah.
I would. That would be absolutely.
But I've also
freaking-
heard that people might trade Justin Fields for a couple picks and then
Really.
just go full-blown rebuild.
Yeah,
and
then
then go full blown
get Bryce Young?
Bryce Young.
Jeez. Talk about it.
Because I mean, it could happen. You never know.
I don't know, man. I have a hard time thinking that they would do that deal interdivision.
I think it would be very hard too because Justin Fields looks like a shining star.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you're
why
just-
would you restart with a whole new quarterback? But
Yeah,
I mean,
who knows?
Yeah,
you
not to
never
mention-
know. It's the Bears. They've done some stupid shit in the
I mean,
past.
yeah, that's true. Not to mention you're going to be giving a division rival, arguably the best young pass rush in the league.
Right.
Like, they're going to be all over Justin Fields. Obviously, that O-line is poverty. So, I mean, I don't know. If you're the Lions and Brad Holmes, I think you try to get that number one overall pick, though. You try.
Hey, maybe if
You try.
it depends on what the Bears are asking for here, but
Yeah. If they're asking too
I
much.
think one of them will fall to them. Truly.
Will Anderson is not following.
I don't know, I think-
Not Will, but what's the other guy from? Is it Bama or Georgia?
Georgia, Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
I mean, I
think
don't know.
he might fall
Yeah.
to him.
He could. I mean, we'll know a lot more about the draft order after the combine and all that
Mhm.
stuff because that's really when
Even if
It's
they moved up one spot, one of them would be.
And I mean,
because I guarantee you, 2 of those quarterbacks are going in the first 4 picks, with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud.
Look at the mock drafts or some shit. Like a list of the prospects.
They have the Lions taking
we can
the guy
do a
out
little
of,
quick mock draft. Take a look at.
Clemson.
Let's go at. Who did we look at?
Clemson. Oh, Brian Brees.
NBC Sports.
I seen that too. Brian Brees at 6. I wouldn't hate the pick. I don't love it.
Will Anderson. That's number 4 though. What is this garbage that I'm looking at, dude?
It's not in order. What the hell?
Yeah, this is retarded. Retarded. There's one that I really like going to. I forget which one it's called though. Come on, go back, fucker. Not back that far though.
Like CBS Sports or some shit's gotta have.
CBS Sports goes exceptional.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean they got Jalen Carter mock number 1 here going to the to the Bears. That is.
What is that?
So the Cardinals have the 3rd pick here. Then the Colts have 4. Then the Seahawks have 5. They get the Broncos pick. That is probably okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tyree Wilson. Who is this guy?
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Ever heard of that?
Taking a Big 12 defensive player,
I would not do that. Yeah.
I would stay away from that.
We got Will Levis mocked pretty.
Oh
high
my God!
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that either.
Yeah, we don't want mid J Coleridge 0-2 born on third base Stroud anywhere near the Lions.
I agree. I think you gotta wait to draft a quarterback. You got some valuable years out of Jared Goff.
Or you try
Clearly.
to sign one.
Yeah,
That's already proven themselves.
I mean, are the Fords going to spend any money? Are they going to spend any money?
Hey, maybe
Lamar.
some free agents will look at
Detroit
Detroit and they'll see, hey, they're building something.
Yeah, that's the good thing is they with the win and Green Bay, it makes these prospects or free agents look more to Detroit.
They'll actually want to consider going to the Lions instead of just going with the Lions.
It looks like
freaking
Detroit. Dan Campbell's building something out here.
Yeah,
so.
I mean Dan Campbell's looking like an emerging star.
But it's just if the Fords will pay.
That's the question. That's the $1 million
that
question.
they've never been able to pay.
I mean, Nolan Smith kind of catches my eye if he'd be available at 18.
Yeah, if he'd be available, I'd be complete. Like he's a very talented prospect out of Georgia.
I like that.
I really like Nolan Smith. I've been watching him for the last couple seasons. He's very big time talent.
It just depends on what route you want to go because I mean, there's potential that Keely Ringo would be available. And you basically just cannot go wrong with any of these Georgia prospects, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So, Brad Holmes, if you're watching this, man, draft dudes from Georgia.
Yeah, honestly, just draft everyone from Georgia.
Yeah, just build. It's like a.
Just call Kirby on the phone and say, "Let me get all your players."
Make Georgia kind of like a farm system for the Detroit Lions. Exactly. I would not. Be
similar to what the Orlando Magic are for Michigan basketball. Exactly.
I agree.
Because all the Michigan basketball players go to the Magic, so we got to make. The Lions, the farm system for the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes. I really like that idea. We got to get that going at some point.
Yeah, I think that is the way to do it, man. If you're trying to build a damn good team, which you're doing a pretty decent job at right now, Georgia
it is.
Just look at Georgia.
Man.
Exactly.
Georgia and Bama, they always they always have the top prospects.
You didn't even. I mean, if you're going offensively, look at Ohio State. Look at other than quarterback. Look at Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, get Jackson Smith. I mean, Marvin's got another.
I don't know. Even Jameson Williams looked really good at Sunday night. I think the Lions, if they re-sign Chark, I think they're set with their wide receiver core.
Yeah, you don't need to fuck with the wide receiver core at all. I mean, maybe get a 4 if Josh Reynolds decides to leave, or what.
I like Josh Reynolds.
Something. I like him too. I also like Khalif Raymond, but I don't know if I like him out wide. I feel like he's a good return specialist.
Yeah, I like him.
Truly, if they only draft a tight end on the offensive side, I'm fine. Because I think that's all they need. Unless they lose someone on the offensive line to free agency, I don't know what their contracts are, but
we saw Dan Campbell, really get the most out of Brock Wright and what's his name, Shane Zylstra or whatever.
I mean, yeah, they were playing well. So.
Yes, they were. After the Hawkinson trade.
If you want to, you can get a late round
tight end. Like a Luke Schoonmaker.
Yeah, Schoon.
I mean,
exactly. We were talking about that the other day.
He could be pretty good, but
he could be there.
Yeah, like 4th round or something.
Yeah. Fifth round.
Maybe even 5th.
Is that Georgia kid coming out?
Not Bowers.
Bowers?
No,
not yet.
Next year.
He'll be top 10 pick.
Dude,
yeah, no doubt.
if they got him now,
Oh man,
that would be, dude. He's gonna be a Travis Kelce sort of type.
Oh,
that'd be the
100%.
best offense, and it didn't even matter if Jared Goff's your quarterback. You got J-Mo,
Yeah, no.
Amon-Ra St.
You could
Brown,
have
Brock
Stetson, you
Bowers,
could have Stetson Bennett as your
and
quarterback,
DeAndre Swift.
and he'd still get them the ball.
Exactly. You can exactly.
He'd still get them. You could get
Shit.
Cade McNamara as your quarterback.
Exactly. You could have Coldridge Stroud
Yeah, you could.
or fucking Peyton Thorne.
Yeah, Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne, man.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's already a bunch of Georgia dudes on the Lions, and they're not afraid to draft from UGA. So
Yeah, exactly.
Brad Holmes, please do.
Keep going.
Yes,
Brad Holmes.
Keep that same energy. Detroit Lions coming for that shit.
They are indeed, man.
Yeah. So, any other teams on the come up that you guys like to look at here? Obviously, we're in the state of Michigan, we're gonna especially note the Lions, but any other teams this year that took some strides that you maybe didn't expect?
I don't know. One team I kind of had my eye on all season was the Falcons. I mean, I really like what they're building there. I mean, quarterback situation is still up in the air. I mean, they just drafted Desmond Ridder last year, but I mean, they're making progress. I think in their rebuild.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I like what they're doing down there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
How about you? Anybody else?
I mean, I think the Jets are pretty high out
Jets.
there.
Yeah,
I mean,
both
they
New York
definitely
teams.
turned that.
I was gonna say
They
the
definitely
Jets.
turned that program around. They just gotta figure out the quarterback position
Yeah.
because they gotta get a more stable quarterback that will
I
not
agree.
get hurt
I
as
think
much.
the Jets have all the pieces. It's just a matter of putting them together, and maybe not all the pieces because obviously we mentioned they need good quarterback play to get their
Yeah.
weapons the ball.
Maybe a little bit better offensive line, but
I think they're good on the defensive side of the ball though.
yeah, no, the defense is freaking
They're
crazy
sweet.
good.
So I was gonna say either Jags or
Yeah, the
Jets.
Jags too. The Jags. They've made monumental
I think
leaps from
they
last
just
season.
need to find another wide receiver for
Yeah, I mean
Trevor Lawrence.
Zay Jones is good, and they obviously unloaded the Brinks truck for Christian Kirk, but they got to get like.
I heard that DeAndre Hopkins might be on the chopping block this year, so.
Hey, aren't they getting Chris or Calvin Ridley?
Yeah. I
Oh
heard-
yeah, I
yes.
forgot that.
Oh, there you go,
they're-
there you go,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, they might
Good
be
call. I
good.
completely forgot.
I
About
Yeah, but there is some rumors that he might not come back to football.
Oh, he
so.
better.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
he better.
So
Is he gonna go the broadcast booth?
I don't know.
He's gonna go to the FanDuel Sportsbook.
It's been a year, so you never know.
Yeah, he's definitely
He's
going to the FanDuel Sports.
He's going to the casino. Nah. Calvin Ridley gonna be a Jag. Don't worry. Trevor Lawrence is a dog. They got defensive pieces as well, and weapons, and a good head coach.
For once, they got rid of Urban and they just completely turned that ship around.
Dude,
crazy.
It's
I
funny.
mean, when you get a Super Bowl winning head coach,
Yeah,
you knew he was
yeah.
proven. So
It's funny, like the Jags players themselves have just been so outspoken in how much of a difference Doug Peterson makes, as opposed to an Urban Meyer guy. Kind of feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. He didn't really have a rookie year per se.
Yeah, like this was kind of really his rookie year.
Exactly.
Really.
So, I mean, with that in mind, Trevor played amazing. This team's in the playoffs.
Yeah,
So
they are.
I'm extremely impressed with the Jags as well as the Jets and Lions
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I think the Jags could be pretty good. They just got to find a few pieces on defense and a little bit on offense. But they got their.
What pick do they have?
Who?
The Jags.
They'd be
They're in the
late.
playoffs, so
Yeah,
They're gonna be
they'll
later, probably like
mid-
mid round, or not, or none. Oh,
21st,
21st.
19. How does this work? Why are they? How does?
It's
I don't know.
not set yet because
It's not necessarily,
they have to lose. If they keep going further,
Really?
they'll get a later pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Playoff?
If you
I
go-
didn't know
if
the
you go
Or
playoffs.
just regular
I
season?
didn't
If you
know
go
that.
deeper into the playoffs, you get because the Super Bowl champion always gets the last pick.
Usually, unless it's
So-
traded. Yeah.
Usually, I think the deeper you go, the later pick you get.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a year in the league as well as college football. We gave you guys our last recap of college football season.
Hey, yeah, but
Saturday.
we're going to be bringing college football content to you guys until kickoff next fall.
Oh, of course.
So I mean, we're not resting. We're not going on vacation after this. We still got all sorts of stuff to talk about. I know other programs that you guys might watch. Might go on vacation, might take some time off after the season. But no, we don't take time off on this show.
Hell no.
We continue to keep going. We're going to continue to bring you guys great content going forward.
Yes, expect. Later in this week we're going to record something special. We're doing a basketball NBA
Yeah, we get
podcast.
with special guests too.
Yeah, with a special guest. So feel free to view. Feel free to like, share with your friends everything that we say. Comment, leave us a comment on Instagram, on Twitter, anything. We like to interact, and we've been posting reels and stuff on the gram and pictures. So smash that follow button and that like button. But yeah, we're not resting. College football offseason is going to be insane. NFL playoffs going to be insane. NBA's heating up. There's only more news to bring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, we had a loaded slate, and this is us signing off. So
yeah, we'll
peace
see you
out.
guys next or Friday, Saturday, whenever.